so? 音来てる? Yeah, it's just a couple of beeps, yeah.
Rally Japan. Imagine stepping into a space and you're literally surrounded by all these cool media pieces. Let me show you. So can we have some sound? A little bit of sound. So I'm welcoming you into the gallery here. We are in F8 VPS. We are in F8 VPS in our gallery, and we can curate this gallery. Pay attention, we are in the viewer and not in the editor, so we are in a very user-friendly environment for the broad audience. And we can touch on each canvas and add to the artworks. For example, here we are taking a poster or a picture from Rally Japan, and we are adding it into our gallery. We can touch the podiums and add 3D objects. So we choose the 3D artwork. This is one of the models that Professor Tucker has developed from the cars from Rally Japan. We got the proportions so that they don't get distorted, and we can add them in our space. If they don't come exactly where we want them to come, so we have a very easy interface to rotate them, lift them, and place them exactly where we want them to be. And here is one of the cars on the podium. I want to add one more 3D object to show you an additional feature. So here is another one of the cars. And we can decide to make it into an NFT. We want to thank Mark Orell and his team for adding this feature for us. There is a button here with a very easy interface that you can log in to FORUM8, to the NFT maker, and it creates it into an NFT, brings it back as an NFT, and now we can place it with this feature. We can again rotate it to take the correct perspective. And let's walk around the gallery a little bit more and decide what else we want to place in the gallery. We can go to this wall and add a time-based media, a clip, a video clip from Rally Japan. We can decide the size. And once it's in the space, it's already running. Let's add a last piece, again a clip. Pay attention here, we can loop and start it automatically, so whenever our visitors come in the gallery, it can already be running, or it can start upon clicking on the clip. We have these two different options. So this is the gallery that we have curated and set up for a Rally Japan VR exhibition.
All right, so let me get this straight. You made a gallery where you could throw in posters and cars, and you just let them float around?
Well, they don't just float around. You can zoom in, you can play the video clips, and even rotate the models to inspect them from all kind of angles. And here's the kicker, they can be turned into NFTs. So you don't just look at a car, you actually own a car, kind of.
Do you hear that, folks? Virtual car ownership, without insurance fees or worrying about parking. My project, though, takes it up a notch. Mine is an XR with a little added physical touch. Imagine this, you're holding a 3D printed car from Raleigh, Japan in real life, and just by touching it, a digital version pops into the VR world. So really quickly, I'm just going to go over how this started was with the initial 3D models and then kicking them out into 3D parts, basically making the parts kind of stretched out and not touching each other so we could actually make them conductive. So you saw this is developed by a team of Mark Arell and the FORUM8 team and my daughter, Hannah Tucker, which helped provide the code. So initially you can see this conductive epoxy hooked up to wires, and you can see I'm touching them. And so we did some initial testing this summer at MIT. When you touch the surfaces, you can see serial code kind of popping out as you touch it. So you can see as I'm touching it, we're getting out some initial data. So after MIT, I wanted not just to touch the conductive epoxy, but use bare paint. Bare paint is a conductive paint that actually can read through a signal. And so you can see this mess of wires and Arduinos and Adafruit board, how this is all initially set up. So you can see a schematic here, the wires going into a board called Adafruit, and it's able to pick up the conductivity of that paint, and then a signal is then sent over to an Arduino. This is just a standard Arduino, and then that is connected to your laptop or computer. So through the computer, it goes to F8 DPS, and so in real time, as you're touching the physical form, you're building up components of the car, and then ultimately it builds the final card. So you can see the initial code, all written by my daughter, Hannah Tucker, and then the pipeline for the initial thing. So here we're just going to do a real quick demo. And so if we go to launch it, that's my daughter launching the code. And on the right is the VR. So you initially start it, hitting the red token. And then over to the left, you'll see me start to touch the components of the car. So we're going to build it as we're touching the real physical form. So you can see, we're going to turn up the volume a little bit. You can hear it. Sorry, the components. So part of the script is now got down, so you can have a haptic or real-time feel. So you can see the group is now stepping. We've got 1 minute to go. We're going to do the side panel, tires, and then the bumper. All right, so we have a full car, but now we want to add color and to the final model. Okay, so when you hit the F8 conductive paint, you can see the final car, and then pops up the NFT. So you can scan the NFT, take that token home, and then you can build the car over again and create other NFTs.
This is actually so great that FORUM8 is allocating for your daughter to join our team, young researchers like your daughter, to come and work with us and contribute to the project. But let me get this straight. You mean that I just poke a toy car and voila, it's in the VR?
Precisely. I mean, I don't want to bring their favorite toys into VR. It's like magic, but with a lot of wiring and code. And just like in your gallery, once a car is in VR, you can turn it into an NFT, because that's the point of not making an NFT, right?
Exactly. If it's not an NFT, doesn't even exist. And by the way, it's all super user-friendly. You don't need to be a tech wizard to make these NFTs or to interact with the objects. Just be a Rally Japan fan with a lot of love for the virtual cars.
Hey, Professor. Now, imagine combining our projects. You'd be in VR surrounded by posters and car models, touching things and making even more things appear. It'd be the ultimate Rally Japan fan dream, and a bit chaotic.
Yeah, true, but think about the applications, galleries, museums, showrooms. We are making VR and XR way more interactive and fun. Plus, there is always a chance to own these digital collectibles. So you can keep them after the virtual gallery closes for the night.
So in short, we've turned the VR experience from cool to look at to cool to own, and hopefully we've convinced a few of you to join us on this ride, and maybe even turn your own work into NFTs.
Absolutely, thank you for joining us today, and remember, if you can poke it, you can turn it into VR.
So, thank you very much.